All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Colonel Joe Franklin, and I am here in Colonel's Corner, where we feature different stories for colonels throughout the world to share like their commission stories and some of their achievements. Today, I am honored to have with me a colonel that's doing some phenomenal work, and I would love for her to introduce herself and just kind of give more information as to your hometown, the commission, who nominated you, uh, why you were nominated, and then the year of your nomination.
Okay, well, thank you, Joe. And I'm excited to be here and share my story about the Kentucky Colonels in the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. Excuse me. I'm Molly Sutherland. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and I was nominated as a colonel in 1993. And my story is not super sensational. In the 90s, I was working at Kentucky Utilities. I was very involved in the community and all over. And everyone was a Kentucky colonel, and I wanted to be a Kentucky colonel. I didn't really know anything about it. I just thought it was cool, and everybody had their certificates. So I asked a guy that I worked with, David Whitehouse. He's now with the White House Group. So, hi, David, and thank you.
Hi, David.
He nominated me and gave me my certificate, and that was it. And I put my certificate up. I did nothing. I didn't understand the kernels. I just thought it was, I just wanted to be one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the early or mid 2008, 9, 10 did I really understand what the Kentucky Colonels did. And I did not even know about the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. So um, I kind of just stumbled into it, I think.
So, are you the first colonel in your family?
I am.
All
My
right.
parents would talk about the Kentucky Colonels. Was it a ham or bean soup? Something in Bardstown.
Mm-hmm.
But they were not colonels as far as I know.
All right. So that means that you're like the trendsetter and I guess the pioneer within like the family. And in regards to giving, then and in service from an intergenerational standpoint, I would say from the time that you've spent in the honorable order, from what you've seen displayed that made you want to be a part of it, to like what you see happening now, what's your take on how things are moving in the future and how the colonels are essentially inspiring a generation to want to get in on what the colonels are doing, very similar to how you felt in 1993.
Well, I love the direction that the honorable orders are going, the honorable order of Kentucky Colonels. It is about giving back, it's about being community minded. And when I talk with people about the Kentucky Colonels, there's two threads that, I think follow through in all of the colonels is one, they enjoy being helpful. All colonels enjoy giving back, being helpful, some in big ways and some in little ways. And it really doesn't matter, but
Mhm.
you enjoy helping others. And the other is we're pretty social people. So we like to get together and do things together. There's a camaraderie there that's kind of a silent undertone of, we're just good, fun people. So
Yeah.
I like the way that the Honorable Order is setting up chapters
Hmm.
so that regional people can get together and regional colonels can get to know each other and do things themselves. Um, I feel great about the way the Kentucky colonels vet the communities that we help and the organizations that we help. I think
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah. All right. Well, that shapes the next question. Then, I guess for me, I want to get into more of you specifically, right? So, what does service mean to you?
um, Good question.
Yeah.
Service to me is is really helping, being there for someone or an organization that's needed, um, working on their time frame and where they are, not pushing yourself, um, but being there for them, being there for if it's and it's not always people. Excuse me. Sometimes it's our pets, and sometimes it's um, like the Humane Society
Yeah.
and other organizations. But we are there to just advance the organization, advance our community, advance the individuals to be whatever they want to be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you came into it though as a professional, and I would imagine that has some type of there could be trying times simply just with it not being enough time in a day, just to essentially take care of what you need to do on a
Hmm.
professional front, your home life, and then what you're contributing to the community. So for me, my question for you simply revolves around balancing, right? So how do you find the time and the energy to dedicate to volunteer work, and essentially, why is it still important for you, you know, all of these years later, after finally getting in with the cool kids, right? Got into the club. You didn't have to essentially take that and work further. So why is this still important? So how do you find the time and the energy to dedicate to volunteerism and work, and then why is it still important for you?
Well, how you find the time is hard. It is hard. People are very, very busy. Um, the why you do it is because it's part of your DNA, and because it's part of your DNA to be helpful, um, or it's kind of part of mine. I enjoy
Yeah.
that. I like to see people do things they never thought they could do, and see their eyes light up and their pride and their confidence. And I think that is the why I do it, and that's why I make the time. Um, and I learn so much from them. When I'm down and I feel, you know, not the best. I'm not always you know, in the flow. Everybody has ebbs.
Hmm.
And I find when I go and meet other people, and I don't know, there's just some magic there. And that is why I find the time to do it. And it is not easy. And it's not easy when you're working full time. You're
Hmm.
balancing a family, you come home and you have a lot of work at home to do. So it's tough, but it's very rewarding. It's to me it is.
Yeah, for sure, and it sounds like it, for sure. And then that makes me think about the aspect of like a narrative shifting, right? Essentially changing the narrative. So I am curious, like, in what ways do you think the Kentucky Colonels are changing the perception of Colonels and making it more impactful part of society on a go forward?
So when I was a colonel back in the 90s, like I said, I didn't really understand it. And it was just to be a Kentucky colonel because it seemed to be the neat thing to do.
Hmm.
Now I think the colonels and what I am involved with, it's really more of what the colonels are doing and exactly what you said, Joe, about changing the narrative,
Yeah.
about changing lives. And they may have done that all their life. They probably did. Okay. I just wasn't involved and I didn't understand how important, how impactful, how really just how wonderful it is to have the Kentucky Colonels to raise people up and help people that are having tough times. And we all have tough times.
Yeah.
So it's how to get through that.
Absolutely. Well, from your history and then the work that you've performed and the service, that you've rendered essentially all throughout these decades, is there like a spotlight that maybe you can shine on an individual? So, is there someone that you could tell us about whose life is entirely dedicated to service and what that commitment looks like on a daily basis within the honorable order?
Somebody within the honorable order whose
Yeah,
life
anyone?
is dedicated to service.
Yes.
I will talk about one that I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about, and it is John Shropshire. So I met him through the Kentucky Colonels. He was a trustee. He was a general, and I met him, and it was almost like magical. And he has now passed away, and I'm friends with his wife. But I did not know him from Adam.
Hmm.
When I met him, he just embodied what the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels are about. It's that intrinsic, um, just that value of helping people and helping people in magical ways, things you don't even realize by sharing little nuggets of um, of whatever is needed. It's hard to describe,
Hmm.
but he can go around and he did go around and just raise people up. He was very dedicated to service in his professional life and personal life. It was absolutely seamless. Um, and I think he embodied what service what service means from my perspective.
Oh, that's awesome. And you, as you highlighted, he's no longer here with us, but he really did give his life to service for the honorable order.
In every way you can think about. Yes.
Wow. Well, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Well, this has been, a really good conversation, and I think that you've highlighted what it means to be a great colonel, and not just that, your commitment to service, for decades. And um, I guess for me, as someone that's been a part of the organization, within the last 5 years, I want to know, how do you feel about like that next generation from a maybe an initiative standpoint? So um, the question is, can you tell us essentially about? Oh, excuse me. Here he is. Um, I just got mixed up on one of the questions. I want to make sure I'm very clear on it, though. Excuse me. Yes. So, uh, what's one initiative led by the Kentucky Colonels that has pushed the boundaries of generosity of action and impact, and what impact has it had on the community? So, one initiative that you can highlight that has, essentially pushed the boundaries and the impact that it has.
Well, I have to mention what the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels have done with the disaster recovery
Yeah.
in both Eastern and Western Kentucky. I mean, it's been incredible what those individuals have had to go through, and it seems they continue to have to go through, and you don't even know where to start. I mean, it's devastating. And the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels has stepped out, made grants available, long term um, funds available to help the individuals and the communities, you know, move on. And that's easy to say, but so hard to do.
Yeah.
And I believe, the colonels have moved in that direction. And I'm proud of that. I feel great about giving my resources, both time and money,
Hmm.
to the Kentucky Colonels because I know those dollars are going directly to the people that need it. And that really goes back to the vetting, to knowing the community, um, and making a substantial impact in communities. So that's really stands out to me. The other thing is more, just much more simple, is I vetted a grant for children that were seriously ill. I mean, they had cancer and they're going to camp and they needed a handicapped kayak to get these kids on the water to explore what water is like, what silence is like, just what nature is, and just enjoy the water. And I was able to, get a grant for them to get their two handicapped kayaks.
Wow.
And to me, having those kids have that experience they would not have had otherwise. And that was important.
Wow. Well, those are major feats for sure, and I think those they have a major effect through society, from the charitable efforts and then like the service that's being performed in the community. So I think that encompasses so much of like what your impact is and like your commitment level. And I just applaud you for the work that you're doing, and the things that I've actually been able to see behind the scenes as well. Like you're extremely dedicated, and I think that dedication and that commitment level is something that we wish could permeate through society, for sure. So once again, I'm Colonel Joe Franklin. I'm here with General Molly Sutherland, and um, is there anything that you want to share with us in a parting way?
Well, thank you for interviewing me. It's an honor. And I am very optimistic about what's going on with the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels. I encourage anybody that sees this or learns about it to get engaged.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
also super excited about, and you touched on it, the next generation. Um, I just think the ideas that are coming out, the leadership that I see in the next generation, and their desire to give back, their desire for volunteerism and service are probably greater than they were in my generation, to be honest. And
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I do think the world, has potential, and good things are going to happen.
All right. And on that note, I think that's a wrap. Good things are going to happen. Thank you for that tidbit. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
So there you go.
All right. You all take care. Bye
Thanks. Bye bye.
bye.